Okay. Oh, look, it's February already. So, Chris, what happened in January? Because we didn't do one of these in January. So, what were you up to in January?
So it was very busy in January, but overall it was a success. We got everybody submitted on time. We got us their information. Basically, the whole of January was working on people's self-assessment tax returns. We did a couple of limited companies, but yeah, really it was about getting the rental clients in and also any self-employed before the 31st of January. We made sure that we got everybody in, let them know how to pay their tax, um, and then obviously if told people how to arrange payment plans if they needed it. But yeah, really it's just about building on that and making sure that we can get everything a bit more smoother so that we have a more balanced workload throughout the year next year. That's our plans for this year.
I believe on the last day we had a little bit of a panic for somebody we found out about a partnership. What happened there then?
Yeah, no, so the last kind of day we were looking around HMRC while telling people obviously how to pay their tax. And we could see on the account that there was penalties basically from previous years under previous accountants. Um, and when looking into it, we found out that there was a partnership that nobody knew was still in existence. So to avoid making sure that there's any further penalties for that partnership, we got at the very last minute a tax return done to avoid any penalties going forward, really. And then now that we can get everything set up, we'll be able to get that closed and sorted going forward. But obviously, it was a big find for us because it saved a good £200 in penalties being added on by us doing that.
Yeah, no, 400, yeah, £200 for the extra
£200.
partnership. Yeah,
Mm,
partnership. Yeah, yeah, that's good find that, wasn't it, really? So that saved the
yeah.
client a little bit of extra money. So yeah, well done us. So yeah, no, very successful January, getting everything in on the time. So I believe we've helped in the last year, we've helped over 200 people submit tax returns. So for we're quite a small team, that's a lot. Plus we've helped nearly 100 let property campaign landlords in the last 12, 15 months as well. So we've been doing a lot of tax work, that's for sure. So, um, what else have we been up to? Have we been done anything else to do? What about payroll? Anything like that? Have we been doing anything in that respect?
So we do basically the monthly payroll for a few different clients. So obviously we're coming up to March, we'll be having to do all the P60s and things like that for the year end and things like that. But as I say, yeah, it's a thing that we do offer clients. And yeah, we tend to do the monthly payroll. And then obviously going forward now when it's coming up to March kind of time and we've got our limited company clients, it's about also doing some tax planning for them and also our other clients as well, um, to make sure that everything's tax efficient. And if with the example for the limited company, make sure if there's any dividends that need to be declared before the end of March so that it's in obviously the personal tax return period of that of up to the 5th of April that we make sure we put that in place. And then obviously for the new financial year, make sure that the wages are at the correct records to be most tax efficient. Because obviously with regards to payroll, there are some changes coming in. So obviously from April, the minimum wage is going to be going up to £12.21 for um, obviously people over the age of 18, I believe. And then obviously the other thing to consider is that employers' national insurance is also going to be increasing to 15%. So yeah, there's a lot of changes in there that we need to make sure. And obviously when coming to doing the tax planning, making sure that whatever we're kind of recommending and looking at that's the best options are now the best options with these changes coming in.
Yeah, no, the employer's national insurance is going to be quite costly for a lot of employers, isn't it, this coming
Mm,
April? So I've heard of people having pay freezes and that because of that, so it is one of those things that people do need to look out for and they need to make sure they've budgeted for, so if you need to understand what the consequence is for your business, and what impact that's going to have on your business. So that is really important. Yeah. So just talking, you mentioned briefly about tax payments on account a minute ago. So obviously, everybody at the end of January should have been paying their tax. What happens? I think we've had a few questions, haven't we, about payments on account? And also, can we talk a little bit about surcharges and things like that as well, please?
yeah, so obviously usually people should be paying their tax by the end of January for personal tax returns. That will include obviously the balancing payment for the year, and if their tax was over £1,000, they may have their payments on account to make towards next year's tax bill. If people haven't paid that amount of money by the end of January, and it's still outstanding, if it's not paid, the balance payment's not paid by the end of February, they're going to add a surcharge of 5% onto it. So that's why it's really important to obviously make sure that the balancing payment's paid by the end of February, really, else that surcharge is going to be added on. There will be interest that's already being added on, but the surcharge will be 5% of the tax amount. Um, and then if that was left another 6 months, there'd be another 5% added on. The other thing that people can do is set up a payment plan with HMRC, and it can be done online as long as it's the tax bill is under £30,000. And basically they have 60 days in which to do that. So that would be around March time, because it'd be 60 days from the end of January. And doing that, they'll be able to basically pay their tax in installments rather than having to do it in one go. But yeah, that's why we're recommending people obviously make sure that they get that tax paid as soon as possible to avoid those surcharges.
No, no, it's a big old thing, isn't it? The surcharges. So yeah,
Mm.
so yeah, I think that's one of the things that a lot of people forget about, isn't it? Really, it's not just about paying the tax. You have to pay the surcharges if you're late as well. You have to
Mm.
pay the payments on account. So I think that's what often catches out people who are new to coming into business because they don't think about the payments on account. They just, and also people who are late. This is something we try not to make sure it happens in our office, that people who are late getting their information to us find out late what tax they have to pay. So this is something we've always tried to avoid it, which is why we chase people quite regularly, isn't it? To make sure that doesn't happen. So yeah, because if you find out late that suddenly you've got an extra 5 grand to pay, you don't want to know about that, do you? End of January. Not when you spent it all at Christmas anyway. Oh dear. Now I've got a little bit of a testimonial actually that I've got from a client actually, and he says, "Hi Michelle, I just thought I would like to thank you and all of the staff supporting me with my accounts, including my mum's over the last 10 years. I wish you all the best for the future and always recommend your business to others. Take care, Michelle, and thank you so much." Obviously, I won't read out the name of that, but isn't that lovely to see that we have clients that well over 10 years, that still like to say thank you to us when they no longer need our services. So that particular client went into properties, was going to buy hundreds of properties, and in the end decided actually it's not quite as good as they thought. So is there anything else this time of year that we'll be looking at then?
So from not from what really I've mentioned earlier, other than obviously the Let Property campaign, that's going to be our biggest thing that we're doing kind of at the moment, because of the fact that it can run throughout the year, because obviously we're backdating the taxes so that we're sorting it within the time periods that we're given. So once we've registered someone, we have the 90 days to do it in. So the work that we're kind of doing at the moment, other than what I've mentioned, is Let Property campaign, because if they've been registered in December or January kind of time, their deadline's either going to be around February or March. So that's the kind of time that we'll be doing it. So that's obviously our main thing that we'll be doing, other than looking at people's tax planning at this kind of time of the year.
Yeah. And then we look at
And
our internal stuff, don't we, as well, this time of
yeah,
year? We have a lot of looking at our own processes and what we want to change, and that to hope that next year goes a little bit more efficiently and a little more effectively, sort of thing. That's always a good way of doing it. And I thought of something else and it's gone. Not doing very well, am I? I'm like, oh, I know. Right, come back again, sorry. And the other thing I thought about actually that we're doing at the moment is at the moment we have get a quote now, don't we? That's for our Let Probably campaign clients. So that's where they can get a quote to get an idea of their accountancy fees. And we are launching in the next couple of weeks, actually, we're going to be launching our new one for landlords to be able to get a quote to be able to do their tax returns. So that's going to be live fairly soon as well. So that's quite exciting from our point of view because this automates us, but it also means that landlords can come online and find out from us a quote for doing their tax returns in the middle of the night. They don't have to wait until they can ring us up in the daytime. So that's quite exciting from our point of view is to get something like that going live as well, sort of thing. So I think I feel a website refresh coming up, I'll be honest. And the other thing we've been doing, actually, we're doing some YouTube videos. We've been doing a few more like this. We definitely get people watching them because I've had comments about watching us and that. So and that's good as well. That we're helping others because this is why we do what we're doing is so that we can help others understand some of the changes that are going on and how we can help them. So if somebody wants to get in touch with us, what's the best way, Chris?
so the best way really is to go to our website, which is obviously marslands.co.uk. If they're a Let Property campaign, they can fill in our form to get a quote now. There's obviously a contact form on the website if it's not something that you feel that is on there. Or alternative soon there'll be, if you're a rental person, as you say, there'll be that form to fill in and get their quote from there.
Yeah, exciting stuff. So yeah, look forward to speaking to people. Thank you and time to shine.